Welcome all to our session on data analysis using SPSS. My name is Dr. Bidhi Mutua from Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology, Kenya. So I have witnessed in many occasions while students in universities are not able to analyze data using quantitative software, probably because quantitative software was not one of the skills they were exposed to. Analyzing data using quantitative software was not done at the university. They did research methodology, statistics, and quite a number of times they are not exposed to analyzing data using quantitative software. So this video is supposed to convince the student that data analysis using quantitative software can easily be done. It is a skill that they did not just for their project at the university or thesis, but outside the workplace as managers, because research should also be applied at the workplace, especially nowadays with the coming of data science and proliferation of so many software that are used to give managers insight in decision making. This video is supposed to expose in a very nice way, in a way that simplifies everything to the student or the manager on how to analyze data using one of the most popular software for data analysis. Quantitative data analysis software are varied: SPSS, MS Excel, R, Python, Stata, JASP, among others. Some of them are free software. They're open source, you can download and use in your computer, like JASP, R, and also Python. We also have proprietary quantitative data analysis software like SPSS. In our today's discussion, we shall use SPSS to do three things. One, first, to familiarize ourselves to the environment of SPSS. Secondly, we'll be able to input data to the data editor in SPSS. And finally, we shall use SPSS to perform simple correlation analysis. So we go straight to the software. Let me share my screen. What we have now is the SPSS window. So you need to be knowledgeable on how to use variable view and also data view, because these are very important views as far as SPSS is concerned. There are other menus that you'll find, like file for opening new files, editing, edit for editing. We also have analyze, where you're likely to find so many techniques of data analysis. Variable view is used to create variables that you'll use in your research. One of the defining and enduring characteristics of quantitative data analysis is the reliance of variables and, of course, numeric type of data in analysis. We are going to use a very simple example of trying to find out if there is a relationship between fertilizer and yield in a farm. The fertilizer as a variable will be our independent variable, while the yield will be our dependent variable. So we shall work on the hypothesis that when fertilizer is increased, so does the yield increase. In SPSS environment, for you to create variables, you just type so I'm typing my first variable. I've done that. Then the next completed. We have declared, or we have been able to create our variables that we'll use. Assuming we have data for the two, then we switch to data view. Our variables are created, and then what is left for us is to input data. While you're working with the data that has been collected from the field, you'll notice that the data will be in hundreds and thousands of rows. But for our demonstration, since we're using hypothetical data, then we shall just use 10 rows for that purpose. So let me start to input the data for the first variable. Exactly 10 rows. We move to yield, we type our data. So we have finished typing the data for both variables. If you want to perform correlation, then you go to analyze, correlate by variant. You get the dialog box. Remember, correlation does not really tell us a cause-effect type of a relationship exists. Rather, correlation tells us an associative relationship exists. For us to know the impact type of a study results, for us to be able to establish a cause-effect relationship, then probably we may need to conduct an experiment. We may need to use experimental research design. So here we have one of our variables. We have taken it to the next box. We have also taken the next variable. Now there are three types of correlation in this dialog box: Pearson's, Kedal-Stowe, Spearman's. For our data, which is ratio type of data, we need to use Pearson's, but you can still click the others to see if the results will be varied. Now, before we get the results, It is important to understand that before you analyze data, you need to do what is known as coding. You need to create some sort of a code book. But it is important for me to point out that since we are using ratio data, where we have a true zero, we really do not need to code our data, but enter the data directly to the software. In cases where we are using ordinal, nominal, and interval data, there will be a need to code such kind of data, and this will be demonstrated in our subsequent videos on research analysis, analyzing data using SPSS or even other quantitative software. So once we click OK, then we shall be able to get our results. Now, for the viewer to see the results, I need first to stop sharing like that, but then share the screen where we have the results of our data analysis. I'm doing exactly that, showing the results to my viewers. All right. So now you can see that the results are shown on the screen. Kedal's tau gives us a perfect correlation, 1. Correlation between fertilizer and yield. Spearman's rho gives us again a perfect correlation, 1. N is the sample size that we have used, which is 10. And with this, you can be able to know if there is a relationship between fertilizer and yield. 1, as far as correlation is concerned, signifies strong, perfect, positive correlation. So the interpretation is that there is a strong relationship between fertilizer and yield. There is a strong relationship between fertilizer and yield. The relationship is positive, which means as you increase fertilizer, so does yield. All right? So both increase in the same direction. And that explains the positive nature. You know, this is 1. If it was negative, would be said, then it is a negative correlation. And again, correlation here is significant. So with that demonstration, viewers, I'm sure you should be able to do 3 things at least after watching this video. To put data, ratio data, into the SPSS data editor, all right? To move from variable view to data view, and also to use the analysis menu or the menu bar to be able to use correlation to analyze your data. And then you'll get the results as projected in the screen. We come to our end of our short video that tries to demystify SPSS and other quantitative software so that students in the classroom can have an easy time trying to navigate quantitative software. So don't forget to click on the subscribe button such that when these videos are done, you get a notification. I hope you have enjoyed the discussion. Again, I have your research methodology coach, Dr. Bidhi Butua. Goodbye for now.